Happy Tuesday, everybody, from Leslie and myself. I'm Tim McManus with AIT. Leslie Ransley is our product manager for SureShip. And what we wanted to do today is we've got a number of people that have joined that don't have any SureShip kind of knowledge or experience. And we also have some existing customers here. And what we want to do is go through ultimately some of the new things that we've got going on, but we're also going to go through kind of just the overall functionality here. And yeah, we'll get started. So where this came from, as many of you have been in this Syteline world know for a long time, you've got really two separate functions that have always been going on. You've got your inventory shipping, the actual Syteline shipping screen, where you do your material transactions, your cost of goods. You got stuff in boxes. Then you've got all the World Ship, FedEx Ship Manager, all the carrier stuff, and they've always historically been two separate things. And we've been doing implementations for a long time, and without almost any exceptions, we've been asked to come in and do some sort of integration here with this, either kind of ODBC connection to World Ship or or other things. And some customers are just doing it manually, or they've got the address book in World Ship and they just leave it at that. And we thought, a couple of years ago, we thought, let's just address this with something that's repeatable, installable. And that's kind of where SureShip came from. It's turned into a lot more than that. SureShip basically is 100%, it's built inside Mongoose. So it is part of Syteline. The screens you go to, they look like Syteline, they smell like Syteline. Because it's in Mongoose, you also have the ability to personalize things as well. But the other thing is with some of the other applications that are out there, the old Insight Ship and PasteJet, things like that, you don't have to go out to a separate application to do one thing and then go back in or sync anything up. It's all connected to your console. You throw something on the scale, you can weigh it, press the button, get your carrier tracking labels, create the shipment at the carrier, press another button and actually ship the goods. There are a lot of different processes out there with customers. You may not want to actually do the material transactions at the shipping station. We can manage that as well. Okay. The other thing that we did here, in addition to integration, a lot of the shipping comes with pre-shipping stuff, pick lists and things like that. And the pick, pack, and ship functionality that's out there, many of you have a love-hate relationship with that. There are some things it does, and there are some limitations. And what we did is we took some of the things it did well and built it out so that some of the limitations are less limiting. Our approach was not to modify and walk on pick, pack, and ship. So we kind of created this alternate universe pick, pack, and ship to do a lot of the the pre-shipping stuff, staging, multiple staging locations, things like that. We'll get into that. We are also doing Ltl and Freight Integration as well. We have a number of carriers we'll talk about. You can do rate shopping from customer service and actually at the shipping kiosk. Another thing that's big is the ability to actually, I've incurred a rate charge. What do I want to charge the customer? What rules do I want to apply? Do I want to add 10% to my rates? Things like that. And again, it is 100% written in Mongoose. In terms of carriers, we've got a number. These are not all of them, but a number of freight carriers, a number of parcel carriers, and we have a number of parcel carriers worldwide. So what that means, originating outside of the United States. So, if it's going from Canada Post, or, Deutsche Post from Germany. So if you've got international, multiple location, multiple site situation, this is pretty good for that. So Shipment Console, just quickly, We can ship from orders. You don't have to use pick, pack, and ship to do the shipping. We can do it directly from orders. You can do it from transfer orders as well, or service orders, both the lines and the material side. Again, you can do rate shopping at the shipment console. You can do it at customer service as well. If you do pallets, we do palletization support, including recurring or rotating serial numbers with customers. Some customers require that you have a kind of master pallet number that sequences out, and maybe it resets at the first of every year or something. You can do that, creating multiple packages. New feature here is our cloning a package. So if we're out there and we put something, we've got a box and, I've got, I don't know, this, and this in it, and I know I've got to ship 10 of these things. Instead of going through that process of, shipping it again and again, we can just set one up and then clone that package as many times as we'd like. Instead of, doing my shipment, then going out to all of the other, forms to print this packing slip or print the bill of lading, we've got that included on the shipment console that you can just go to one place, choose what you want to print. This is defined at a site level and also at a customer level in terms of defaults that get printed. And you can see here we've got, you can set up what you want for, specific customers that print, and even within that, you may have certain, print options in there in terms of, notes or different dates, things like that. We're doing UCC labels. So we do the shipment carrier labels, so the FedEx label, UPS label. But also, if you're shipping to, or shipping with carriers that, that you're not integrated with, kind of one-off, you still can create and print shipping labels for boxes. You also can do UCC 128 labels for, specific customers. And again, they can be set up on a customer-by-customer basis. We're using Bartender, similar to Factory Track. So once you've got the label designed, we just print it out there, and it works like bartender magic. Something that has, we've gotten feedback, and we've seen it all the time. Things don't go perfectly all the time. So maybe, I get halfway through, the customer cancels the order, or I made a mistake, or this thing, we can't find it, it's not going to ship. The ability to react to those changes and be flexible throughout the entire process is critical versus having to, oh my God, that didn't ship. I've got to cancel this. I've got to undo the packing slip. I've got to undo everything. We've built it in so that throughout the process, you can undo features, undo transactions, shipments, pick lists, bill of ladings throughout the whole process. In addition to that, once that's actually out the door and you've done the shipment transaction, you can undo that. And maybe it was just that one line didn't go. There it is. There's the box. It did not ship. So we can actually just do the unshipment of one particular item or package on a bill of lading and let the other stuff go. This is new. For those of you who do international shipments, there's an ITN number that's required for certain custom shipments, and the options to get that ITN number are, you can go to FedEx and pay, I don't know what it is, $5, $10, $15 to do it, and you've got to enter all the information in, or I believe UPS does it. You can get an account with the government to do that, but you've basically got to type everything in. And this is something that our customers asked for a while ago, and it's taken us a while to get it. It's government APIs aren't like some of the other APIs you've worked with, but basically what it'll do is it'll take the information from your shipment send it off to register that number, get the ITN number back, and place that on your shipment. I mentioned not everything goes in a linear, I box it, I press the button, labels, press the button, shipment. We've got the ability to set up all your shipments, get the UPS numbers or FedEx numbers, and it's not until that truck drives away at the end of the day that you want to ship that. So we've got the ability to actually separate the shipping transactions or include them. We have capabilities for freight forwarder and third party, and actually third party logistics we're going to talk about a little bit. We've been working on that. One of the things with the pick, pack, and ship that we thought, and not just us, a limitation is you can only use pick, pack, and ship, standard pick, pack, and ship with custom orders. And a lot of our customers, they have field service, they have transporters, they're multi-site, and their business revolves around transfer orders. So we've built our kind of alternate universe pick, pack, and ship to accommodate orders, transfer orders, and service orders. The other thing is on the pick workbench out there. It's it's nice, but if you've got an order that's got 300 lines on it, you're going through a lot of single line items. And we also built a pick workbench here. We call it our pick console, order pick console, that will summarize it at the order level in terms of, this is ready to ship. And if you want to get into the detail and see those 300 lines, you can do it. Bill of lading maintenance, we will talk about a little bit. This is a pretty cool feature, again, addressing the, everybody has a plan, but it doesn't always go to plan. If I need to make changes or additions or things like that at the last minute, do that. We are integrated with Factory Track for the pick confirmation side of things. So if you are using Factory Track, you can use that here. And another thing that we have, in addition to shipping from orders and transfer orders, service orders, maybe you just want to ship a box. Maybe you want to ship a box of chocolate to a customer or something. We've got the ability to just create miscellaneous shipments. So it's almost as if you still had the world ship out there and you just want to, make up a shipment. However, being integrated with the application, it does a lot more than that. Yeah, it's just a shipment. So we've been using this, and a lot of our customers have liked it and really stretched the functionality on this. And as a result, this is one of the big new things that we've done with the quick ship, and I'm going to spend some time talking about that in terms of being able to do multi-package shipping and returns to vendors, things like that. From a customer service point of view, the minute that ships, they see it in customer service, the tracking number, they can press a button, there they get the updates where it is. It also does the emailing to whomever you'd like. Customer service can do rate shopping. You can do it for individual carriers, all parcel, all freight. Once you choose a shipment class of service, so UPS ground, that's mapped to your Syteline ship via. That's going to update that on the custom order. Once it does, if I want to charge that customer freight, it's going to put that freight out there at, maybe it was $50 or something. I could say, I want to, have a rule that says I want to add 10% or, a dollar amount or a flat fee or something like that. And that's configurable by customer as well. So Syteline users, that if a customer has their own shipping account, you can accommodate that, but you can only accommodate it one time per ship to. So if they've got multiple, a UPS account, a FedEx account, you either have to manually deal with it or maybe create redundant ship tos that are exactly the same thing with different, different customer accounts. And then your sales, reporting is all messed up. And we've built out the hazmat functionality so that it actually has some functionality in it, more than a checkbox. So if any of you are doing that, we can accommodate it. Now this, Leslie's not here to kick me in the leg. I snuck this one in, but this is vaporware today. But just to let you know that this is coming is package and container optimization, like Tetris type stuff, so that if you wanted to, maybe you've got, here are all these parts and here are my boxes. How do I fit them in? How do I actually optimize what I'm packing in there? It can do that at the box level. Or if you're loading a truck, it can do it at the truck level, and it can do it based on a number of different rules. Obviously, there's dimensions. Maybe there's some things that, can only be on top. You don't want to stack anything on it. You don't want to stack a certain amount of weight on it. Or it can be related to, if it's a milk run shipment, what's coming off that truck first. Because it can tell you how to package a box, we've got, there's one customer that we're actually working with that does this already. They're using this application that we're going to kind of roll into SureShip. They've saved, I think, like 7 figures on shipping because they can get the most out of their packages. The other thing that this can do is, if you're going to, package something and this, this goes first, why not pick it in that sequence as well? So anyway, that's, I'm not going to demo that because it doesn't work yet, but it is on the way. Roadmap items we'll talk about a little bit later. I am going to, this is from September, our roadmap, and this is kind of, we've knocked some of these things off, and we'll talk about that. All right, I'm going to hop into interactive demo here. And in the meantime, Heather, are there any questions or anything like that?
I have not seen any questions come in yet, no.
Okay. Excuse me, get a drink. All right, so I'm going to go through, we're going to start at the SureShip console. And I know shipments start earlier than that when I take an order and when I pick it and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to start here. And as I mentioned, we can create shipments from orders, pick, pack, ship, transfer orders. I'm going to start with an order, and let's just scan something in there. Okay, and that is going to bring over to me all of the parts that I need for this order, what I'm supposed to pick. I can change the quantities on here if I'd like. I could change the locations. If it was lot tracked or serial tracked, I can manage that there. I can select one, or I can just kind of select all and go ahead and create the shipment. And that will create the bill of lading for me and take me into the shipping console. That actually automatically takes me to the shipping console, but I didn't do what Ed told me to, and refresh my screen here. So here's my shipping console. What I have in the bottom right-hand corner, here are my parts. Okay, up here is where I have my package types. Now I can add a package here, or I know I need 3 of these. So I need 3 of those boxes. I can actually add packages in bulk. So let's say I want 3 of these, and I'm just going to add those. There are my packages. Now to to add a part to a package, I have a number of different ways I can do it. I can just scan this. So if those parts are barcoded, I can scan it, and we'll just pretend I scan that. And what it did is it put a quantity of 1 into this package. So I can scan another and another, just supermarket scanning, 1 at a time. If I wanted to do that and not do it 1 at a time, I could prompt for my quantity here. And let's say it's that guy, and I want to put, how many do I have left up there? Got 4 left, so I'm going to put 2 more in there. And it'll pack that. Another thing I can do is I can just go to package and say add item if I want to do it, or I can just go there and double click the item, and that'll put it in the package. I can add all items if I wanted. Maybe everything fits in 1 box and I don't want to go through this. That works as well. Let's see, I will add those parts and those parts. So now I'm looking good. This last part here, you see I've got this tag called self-contained. So self-contained item. I just bought a green screen because I was listening. Infor had a great, during the sales conference, great presentation about how to do video conferences. And they said, if you've got a green screen. Anyway, so I got a green screen. It came from this company, Newer, and it came in the Newer box, right? It was just the box. So Amazon pulled it off the shelf and they put a label on it and they shipped it. There was no process of going through this. So, if you buy a computer monitor, that happens that way as well. So if we take a look at a self-contained item, we can set that up and say for any given item, it goes in a package. Okay, it's self-contained, so you can define the package type, which has the dimensions and tear weight and all that stuff. If you had maybe 4 packs, things like that, there are rules that you could do that as well. In this particular case, this is just 1 per package. And if you notice down here a little bit, this is some of our stuff for the optimization software. Anyway, 1 package per, and if I go back to the shipment, I've got a quantity of 4 here. So if I just add that item, or I'll double click it, it's going to create 4 packages, each with that item on there. And if you notice here, the colors have been changing. Everything's packed, so it's green. I have a little counter up here of how many pieces I have and how many I've packed. And these 4 boxes, they're actually big enough to go on a pallet. So if you are doing palletization, you've got the ability to do that here. And let's say it's going to be a, pick my pallet size. I'm going to go through here and choose these boxes. And I'm going to load the pallet. And what that's going to do is it magically makes my boxes disappear. There's my pallet. It's kept all my weights. And by the way, the weights that are coming over here, the packages have tear weights. The items have weights. So as I add them, it increments. But if you don't have that set up, and very few customers do, throw that on the scale, hit get weight, and that'll update your package weight. So back to my pallet here. If I look at where'd my parts go, right? So if I go to child packages, I still get to see the individual packages I have there as well. And let's actually take a look at our bill of lading. So here's our bill of lading. No charges yet because I haven't shipped it. There are the pick lists that I used, which is 1 pick list. It actually kind of generates a pick list in between when you go straight from the orders. But here are my packages. So I've got, package 1 with my parts. package 3 with, I believe it was a couple of parts. And then I've got my pallet, and then the pallet actually has these packages underneath it and the parts that are in the actual boxes. I'm going to go back to this order here and say I'm ready to go. If I wanted to do some rate shopping right now, prior to shipping, I can do that. You know, what's the best UPS way, or show me all the parcel carriers that I want to use, and I can change that. Give them permissions. If you give your warehouse people permissions, they can change that. But I'm good with that. So I just want to print my labels here. So I'm going to go here and print my shipping labels, and that's not just going to print the labels. What that's doing, this is the integration. This is going out via API directly to, in this particular case, UPS. And it is creating a shipment out in UPS, which is different than if you've got World Ship, you ship, then end of day, you do the end of day process to let UPS know about the shipment you created right then. This actually creates them on the UPS site immediately, update your labels. And if we go back and take a look at our bill of lading now, we should have some charges in here. Okay, yes, $836 freight charge on that because I tried shipping some weird pallet on a parcel carrier. But if I look at that order, I'm going to pop out to the customer order. And go over here to our tracking. Again, there are my tracking numbers, instantly updated on customer service. Customers emailed if you want. Then I'll go out to my shipping rates from this screen where I would do rate shopping. I also have, here's where I do my management of like freight chargeback rules. So in this particular case, we're adding 10% to 10% of what? Well, let's look at this. So I go out to my rules here, and you can have multiple rules that exist out here. In this particular case, I'm adding 10% to negotiated rate. So I have the ability to put date ranges. If you're doing promotions, maybe for the month of whatever, here you can do it through, you know, customer types. You can have it accessible, or through ranges of customer numbers and user types. In this particular case, it's just any customer can have this rule available to them. So the basis is, what am I charging it off of? Freight cost, that's my negotiated rate, could be the published rate. Maybe I want a flat fee, or based on the shipment or order value. Freight costs, I want to mark it up $1 a percent. There's my percent, and that's going to be 10%. So if I go back to my order and look at my $836, go over here, there's my $836 with 10%. However, when I quoted this customer, I didn't expect to be late and mess it up, and it was supposed to be a $50 charge. I've got the ability here to choose this lock freight button, which means up front, if I quote this thing and I've got my rates that I want to charge for freight to the customer, I lock that. That is not going to update that at the time of shipment. So if I quoted them $50, it'll still be $50. Now, maybe they're not paying me for freight at all because we're using the customer's account. And as I mentioned in standard Syteline, every ship to has one place where you can put a customer account number. We've basically created the opportunity here so that you can have really unlimited number of customer accounts out here. So I don't have to change the ship to, add new ship to. So Larry's Bicycles has a couple of FedEx accounts. They've got an ODFL account for freight. And they've got another, UPS account. So you've got the ability to do that. You can set that as a default so that if this customer was, defaulted from one of their accounts, it would come over here. And when I did that shipment over here, got my labels, you would see the customer account would be up there, and it would actually go out and work the API through using all the customer's information and rates. Let's see, got some chat stuff.
They were answered already, Tim.
Oh, cool.
In the question section, yeah.
Oh, it's from Chris. All right, you can ignore that one. That guy's a troublemaker. Okay. So that's a quick tour through the side where I just directly ship, but maybe I want to use the pick, pack, and ship here. So I would go out to here and say I want to use we'll start with the pick workbench. And for any of you who are using standard pick, pack, and ship, this will look very familiar. It's going out and doing some math to figure out what I need to ship, what's unshipped. It will bring back, a number of things, like even if I don't have any available, it's going to bring it out here as well. And again, this is, line by line by line. This will bring this information back. So if I've got an order with 300 lines, I'm going to see, order number, whatever, lines 1, 2, 300, which is fine because, a lot of customers don't have 300 lines if you want to use this. Now, the upside of this is if you're not shipping orders and you want to ship transfer orders with this, you can do that as well. I don't think I've got any set up here, or service orders. So you can use the pick, pack, and ship, and what it'll do is it'll go out and behave exactly the same throughout the rest of the process, including that pack confirmation if you're using factory track. And basically it'll behave exactly the same. So this was, we've got a number of customers that use transfer orders, and this is a real big deal to them. Another thing that we're doing with transfer orders, and I probably need Ed to explain the actual transactions a little bit more, but if you've got like intercompany transfer orders where you're going from one site to another, we've got the ability to actually do the, when it's through here, do the shipment, ship and receive of the transfer order, and all the way through, I think in some cases, to the shipment of the customer order on the customer side, if it was sourced from a transfer order. Ed can correct me a little bit later on that. So what if you did have 300 orders here, all right, or 300 line items, excuse me. We can go to the order pick console, and here what it's going to do is go through, and instead of showing me line by line by line, it is going out and showing me by orders, individual orders. It's going out and summarizing those lines. So it's telling me that on this order, I have a total of 3 line items. I've got 1 ready. Here's 4 and 2 ready, and there's 77 and 77. So that one looks ready. And it's also giving me information, total number of pieces, value. Maybe you want the shipping people to, focus on the high value orders. Again, that's permissions based. You can hide that. But let's take a look at the 77. I've got everything. If I come over here, I'll see this status, which is ready. I see partial ready. That is that is derived from whether or not I can ship these. And if I only wanted to retrieve this list for what I'm ready to ship, I can just choose, click off partial, and it will go back and show me only my ready orders. Or if I wanted to look at some that are not ready at all, I can do that as well. Now, if I want to take a look and see what I have here. Okay, demo lottery here. All right, it worked. So this is my order with 77 line items. I can go out and take a look at the inventory I've got out there for all those parts. And by the way, these are my 77 lines. If you had, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 orders you wanted to pick all at once, if you selected those and came in here for inventory, this would actually show you inventory for all of the parts, or excuse me, all the orders that you selected. And I can go out here and I don't want to ship that big beast, so I'm just going to do the little beast and go ahead and generate that. I can do bulk pick lists as well. If I have multiple orders that are going to the same ship to, and optionally the same ship via, things like that. Just like the pick workbench will group these things, but I can create a pick list with multiple orders. I also have the ability to ignore the ship via. It's an option that I can choose, and if I just wanted to say, show me all the ones going to, the coordinated location out in Bowling Green, I'd be able to do that, print a bulk pick list for those combined orders and ship from that as well. All right, that's going to print my document. And it'll refresh my form here. So now that I printed a pick list, let's, and I've printed I've got a bill of lading that I created. Let's take a look at our bill of lading maintenance here. And this is pretty powerful flexibility here. So let's just say I've got this pick list that actually it's a bill of lading. I got all the way through the bill of lading on this. Customer calls and they say, you know what, I don't want 6. Okay, I only want 4. I can change that to 4, or basically I want none. I'm canceling this on this shipment. Or it's not the customer doing it, but you know what? We looked everywhere. We can't find this part. So I know we printed all the paperwork, but let's fix it here. And we've, there's probably some of you out there that don't have perfect inventory. And the time when you discover it is after you've already printed the materials, the packing list, things like that. So you've got the ability to change that, remove an item. I cannot add more. So, hey, I want to ship them 8. Can't do that, obviously, not without customer service getting involved. But the other thing I can do is maybe I've got a 2 bill of ladings that I printed, and they were one was supposed to go out Monday and one Friday, but the Monday one didn't, I didn't get around to it. So you have the ability here to go out and add it and combine bills of lading. So if I wanted to go out here and do that, I could add that to this pick list or to this bill of lading. The other thing I could do is, if I haven't printed a bill of lading, or if I haven't created a bill of lading yet, and I'm just going to kind of refresh that. And maybe I just did a pick list, right? Pick list only. There's my pick list. I might have that, and I might have a bill of lading that, that's out there. This came in last, the customer ordered it. It's on a different order, but I want to combine it into this bill of lading. You do that, take that bill of lading you want to send it to, and off you go.
You do the bill of lading at the top, Tim. Okay, you're good. Never mind.
All right. So let us talk a little bit about the quick ship that we've been working on. And I'm just going to go back to the original version of this, kind of where we started. This was set up so that I could go out and just print a hold on, wrong one. Doink. Where I can just go out and ship something, right? Untethered from anything. I just wanted, ship it to this customer. I want to ship it to my cousin, whatever. And turns out that our customers have found uses for this we didn't even think about, or we did think about and thought, nah, no one will ever do that. Well, they're doing it. So some customers actually using this as their primary means of shipment. And because of that, the way it was working in terms of, one shipment is basically one box, one shipment, one tracking number, and then you could put stuff in it, right? So what we've done here is we've expanded that to be here. And I've got my Mingle homepage. I'm going to pop out to my Cloud Suite multi-tenant application here for a quick ship. So here, if I wanted to go out and add a shipment here, I've got a couple of different things I can do. I can send it to, it doesn't have to be anything. I just go in here and I can just start typing an address and I can put stuff in there. It doesn't have to tie to anything, but a lot of times when you're shipping something from your company, it's going to someone with whom you've got a relationship. Maybe it's a customer or a vendor or something like that. So if you're sending something to a customer, you can go out there and find that. So I mentioned that some of our customers used to go and keep their address book updated in WorldShip. Just figure this is, it's an address book, right? So I can do that. There's my customer. I can change the ship to, and then I'll change the address. Or maybe, I'm just shipping the customer order, right? So I can go out there and scan in a customer order, and it's going to go out and get the information from that. Or possibly what I'm doing is a vendor return. Same thing. I can go out here and pick a vendor, and that'll get the vendor address. Or if I'm doing a vendor return for a specific purchase order, I can go out there and use that to go ahead and create my my addresses. So here now, let's say I'm going to do a shipment. I could go in here. There's the same thing with my packages, right? I've got the ability to kind of add package types. There's my package type, my dimensions, all that sort of stuff. If I'm sitting and I've got a scale on my workstation, put the box on there, weigh it. I can do that. And now in terms of what I want to put in the box, again, this could be, it could be a gift to a customer. It doesn't have to exist at all. If I wanted to, I could use the item master. It's similar to kind of the address book concept, right? There's my parts and I can just put it in there. Why would I do that? Possibly I want to bring over some of the information for export if I've got it in there, because we actually have customers using this for international shipments very, very heavily. Now, the other thing you can do is, back to this conversation, it's a vendor return, right? So I went and I'm going to return from this vendor. I can go out there and choose that item, and that's going to add that item to this package in this box. Same thing, if it was a custom order, I could just choose that line item and ship that, or I don't have to do anything. I could just put the custom order number, 2 boxes, total weight, hit go, and that's going to create the shipment here, and it's also going to update the order entry screen. So there's one customer that we've worked with that, you know, has seen this, they like it a lot, but they don't really want the warehouse people to be doing any type of transactions of any sort, right? They just want them to keep essentially using WorldShip, right? And go out there and, you know, get a customer address, weigh a box, and print a label. And with this, you'd be able to do exactly that if you wanted to skip the whole process of inventory. Any pause for any questions or anything?
We've had some questions come in, but Leslie's been answering them along the way. Leslie, are there any that should be addressed live?
Somebody did ask about, and I think it's a good question, was what happens when you make those changes using bill of lading maintenance? And I just wanted to let you know that it does all the transactions for you, so it'll move the inventory back into its location. It does the unpick transaction and puts the order line back in an ordered status with the remaining quantities. So that all happens behind the scenes. And I think we support versions from 8.03 to 10. For the transfer order shipping out of the box, it does this transfer ship functionality, and we have had customers who've had us do the combined ship receive as well. Those are kind of the questions. Tim, you might want to go ahead and get started on the other option. I think you muted, Tim.
What other options that?
The other environment.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
So, so the big question we've been getting is, when are we going to get this up for multi-tenant SaaS? And we have been driving the elves very hard to do that. We had planned on getting that done by the end of the year, and we're a little bit behind on that. What we do have here, it is available, ta-da, in multi-tenant SaaS. Some parts of QuickShip, or excuse me, of SureShip. And what we did this, you know, essentially for a strategic reason to get this out here. This QuickShip and a lot of the things that come with that, the documents that get printed out there, the rate shopping, customer service updates. So essentially you can ship your custom orders. You can ship them with, you know, items and boxes and things like that. This isn't going to do the material transactions yet. So this QuickShip is our multi-tenant SaaS environment. So that's happening. The rest of it, we're looking at another quarter and a half. We've got a lot of the stuff rolled out. Some of you who know more of the technical side of things, Infor is kind of redoing all of their plumbing on the back end for changing things from stored procedures to evil little custom assembly .NET thingies, according to my elves. So we're going through that. We've got a lot of the UI built. We're just kind of making sure that the plumbing transactions work, and our I forget the term, but they won't break the first of every month or the first Wednesday of every month. So, so right now, multi-tenant SaaS SureShip is available for the quick ship, and that actually can do a lot of, I mean, you can ship all your custom orders that way. If you want, you just scan an order number, print a label. It can be that simple. And I know that, Infor, in fact, there was a call this morning. Infor has been working on, it says coming soon, FedEx and UPS integration, which is, I think that slide's been there for 5 years. And they probably will get something here, but I mean, basically, yeah, it is for FedEx, UPS integration, and it's not going to do any more than what this is doing right now. And this right now is more than just FedEx and UPS. Sorry, excuse me, wrong one. Go up to this here and ship it. This is actually, you get all this with the with SureShip immediately. The LTL carriers that we have, all of the international capabilities here. I believe, I don't know if John's on this call, but the AES and the ITN for international shipments will be available on this. And another thing that we're working on is integration with third-party logistics, third-party consolidators. Let me see if I got that list there. I think Leslie sent that to me. Yeah, so Kuhn and Nagel, who you probably have heard of them. They're a big kind of consolidator. So if you want to say, all right, just give me the best rate. I need to ship this, and here's the weight, here's where it needs to go, and how quickly I need to do it. You can go out to this Redwood Logistics, YRC Freight, Red Hawk Logistics. Johansson is a company out here in the West Coast that we're looking at as well, so that we're getting more and more kind of third-party consolidators hooked up with the APIs so that you can do both rate shopping and shipment transactions with them. And we're getting close to the top of the hour. I'm going to kind of open this for questions.
All right, it looks like there is one right now, but Leslie just finished answering it. Leslie, is that one that should be answered live as well?
And the distinction is, did we have a good answer or not?
She's been having amazing answers and helping everyone out with their questions.
That's the art of course it is. Of course. One of the things that is different, and I'm not going to kind of go into price lists or anything, but obviously the difference between how we're selling it today is a one-time perpetual license, and the multi-tenant SaaS, everything is a subscription. So we're making that change on the SaaS side of things. But also because, in our release 1.0 of multi-tenant SaaS here, this obviously doesn't have, all of the pick, pack, and ship stuff done yet. So that is going to be a less expensive option. In fact, we've been talking about possibly offering this as a without pick, pack, and ship, because we've run into enough customers that just won't use that stuff. But point being, we're doing something kind of early adopter promotion with customers who want to start with quick ship, that when the the full pick, pack, ship, all the other stuff is rolled out, that they will still have the quick ship rate for a number of terms that we haven't defined yet, but basically heavy discount for a while. And that subscription price, as we add this kind of our Tetris optimization packaging sort of thing, that's going to fold right into the subscription price on this anyway. And I think that is it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I don't see that there are any other questions that have come through at this time. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Tim and Leslie, for presenting and answering all of the questions that have come through. If you do have any questions or would like to reach out to us, you are welcome to email into info@aitbusiness.com, and we'll make sure that gets routed to the appropriate individual so that we can get back to you with whatever questions that you might have, or even to schedule a further discovery or deep dive there. So
we just had a question about pricing. Mommy, can we see pricing? So please feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to address both the on-prem and the SaaS pricing with you.
Perfect.
You can see my email address on the screen.
Awesome.
And if you have any other questions about functionality, again, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. Or if you'd like us to schedule a demo with your team, we're happy to do that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone again for joining, and I hope that you have a good afternoon.
And yeah, thank you for spending your hour here.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.